Hey everyone, it's Sam here and I'm back with another Oz themed card. So if you've been from the start, you would have seen this lovely card made. Then I've made this pop out kind of tower gatefold card, and then today I'm going to make this. It's called a snow globe card because obviously it looks like a snow globe, but I've made it look more like the Emerald City and just wanted to something fun to work with this collection. I did see a picture by Sarah Trebilcock, I think it is, on Pinterest, and she does have a YouTube channel, so I will find the tutorial and link it below, but the measurements I've used here are my own. So it's very easy to make. You obviously need dies for the circle shape, but you could use squares easily. In fact, you could use any shape, it doesn't have to be circles, and all of this is just scoring. It all folds flat, so you can see that how go in your envelope. You could have it that way as well if you wanted to, and it's really straightforward. So let's get started. So this is some of the new product, Wicked and Wonderful Oz. So I'm going to use the ephemera to decorate this one, and then I'm going to use sentiments in one of the backgrounds there, I think, for inside the card. First of all, this is the base, and you want to cut it so it's 11 by 6, and along the 11-inch side you're going to score at half, 1 3/4, 3, 4 1/4, 6 3/4, 8, 9 1/4, and 10 1/2. Then along the short side you want to score at 1 1/4 down to the 3rd score line, so 1, 2, 3, and then at 4 3/4 again down to that 3rd score line, and then you want to repeat that at the other end, so 1 1/4 down to the 3rd score line and 4 3/4 down to the 3rd score line. So you want to fold and burnish all of these score lines. Okay, so I've just gone and cut this end, so you just want to repeat what I show you here on both ends. It's very similar to how you cut if you make a shadow box card. It's very similar to building the frame, but you're going to cut down those score lines now to that 3rd score line, and then you're going to cut across on the diagonal down to the end of the 4th score line. Okay, if you prefer, you could do it this way and come up from the 4th score line on that diagonal to the bottom and then go up that way, but you want to create that shape, and these are going to fold in on themselves and attach, and that's going to give us that base. Now, before we stick it together, I'm just going to talk you through the circles here. So I've just taken some circles from my plain nested ones, so I've got 6-inch diameter, and I've cut a green and a white and stuck them together, and that's going to be my back one, and that'll be where I write my message. You then want to do that again 2 more times, so double up the cardstock if you don't think it's strong enough, but this time you're then going to cut into them. So there's the original size, the 6-inch. Then I drop down. It's up to you how thick you want your frame to be. My frame's about 1/2 inch, so just look at your nested dies there, and you're then going to pop the circle in the middle and run it through. So you've got 2 frames. I then took the next size up from the smallest one. So remember, there's your big 6-inch one. There's my small aperture one. The next size up from that, just tape them together and then run it through. And I've used the gold card, and that just gives a nice frame, and that gold and green, it just all ties in perfectly with this theme. Now I may well back the front one with some acetate. I just want to get this all together first. If you do want to add acetate, then cut some with the original size circle, and then you can just stick that behind. Like I said, this style has been done as a snow globe, so you can use your snowfall acetate, which will look lovely, and no doubt I will definitely revisit this and do a Christmas version. Okay, so I'm going to start with the back first. So we want to bring this around like so we can stick this down. So I'm going to run my glue on that 1/2-inch tab. Okay, so that side's folded over with that 1 1/4 piece there, and then folding that whole section over. And then when you bring it up, that is now perfectly placed in the middle of this 2 1/2 section. Now I think this one I just want to stick right on the back. I'm then going to have one of my frames is then going to go in the middle, so it's going to go between these 2 layers. You see when that one comes up, you can see we get this effect here. So I think I'm going to stick this down first, because then I can use this one to line up the front and the back ones. So I'm just going to run a little glue just along the bottom. If you want to add acetate to this piece, then do it, but because it's the middle one, I'm not going to bother. But I'm now going to position that so it's nice and centered there. And then with this one, I'm going to add my glue again to that 1/2 inch tab. But at the same time, I'm going to also stick this together as well. So I'm using quick grab glue for the tab, but I want to use the Collall glue, the construction glue here, just so it makes that centre nice and strong. So I'm going to fold, so this one you want to fold under and lay that down like so. And then, okay, so that's just under there. And then this one, I'm just going to bring up, and I could fold it right back, because that way you know it's going to go in your envelope. Give that a minute to dry, burnish everything, get rid of any glue that you might have. Okay, so I'm happy with the centre. So now this one is going to go on the back, and I can just by eye now just line that up. It will be flush with the bottom of the card there. You can see it's going to look nice and neat on the back. When you go to fold this down, you just want to make sure obviously they're running nice and parallel with each other, because this is obviously how it's going to be in the envelope. So again, I'm just going to add a little glue along the bottom there. So this is going to stick onto the side of this one here. Tack it down, and then I go and lay this down. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Just put something straight there, just making sure that when you look at it this way, that it's obviously all lined up. And then this one is going to go on the front, but I think I want to add my characters so they're kind of stuck inside here first, and then stick it on, so you can see how this is going to look. I think I might have this ephemera. Yeah, see, if I cut that flat, that would look really good as a continuation of the yellow on the bottom. So I think that's going to go on the back. If I keep it this way, then you can see what I'm doing. But I want one of all the characters, because I did that first card with them all on using the stamped images. I thought it'd be nice to feature them all as they are with the ephemera. So see this one here. So I think I might do a similar arrangement again. Let's see how they fit in here. So we've got Tin Man, Dorothy. So you need her. Got to show the ruby slippers, so maybe she's just coming out of the scene. That could look quite nice. And then a Scarecrow. Got to have a lion. So he would look quite good coming outside. Mind you though, his tail, I'll see if that overhangs too much. If it stays within the curve, the bottom part here, so maybe if I bring him down, yeah, maybe that would work. And then Toto down there. See, that looks really sweet. And then we can have a lovely sentiment on the back. So I might have There's No Place Like Home. What other ones we got here? Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So yeah, so I haven't used the rainbow yet. And also, I mean, do we have the Emerald City, you know, kind of in the background as well? I just love the way that that looks. So I'm going to stick the Tin Man and the Scarecrow behind, and then you just want to add a little bit of glue and stick it onto the front. Okay, and just make sure again it lines up. If you bring it down like this, when you stick it down, just make sure it all lines up with the sides here. Depending on how you've glued it, you might also be able to stick some of them in between here. So I might just trim him, and maybe I have the Tin Man and the Scarecrow further back, and then I'll have, yeah, I think I'm going to do that actually. So let's take that off. I'm going to add my glue. I'm not going to add acetate to this piece. I don't think it's going to be needed because I'm having things kind of coming out of the frame. So I'm just going to bring this down. Again, I'm looking at the yellow here, that little bit of overhang that you can just see. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have Dorothy coming out of the frame, and then I'm going to build up these characters, slot them in the middle section. I might have the sentiment, maybe on a bit of acetate behind this frame. There's just so many ways to decorate this. So I'm just going to have some fun now, work this all out, and then I'll show you it when it's done. So there is everything stuck down. I've added the sentiment, there's no place like home. I've got the red poppies there. You can see the yellow brick road. You've got all your space on the back there, and then it all folds flat. Now I did measure this and I'm just slightly bigger than 8 inches. I mean, it probably will still go in a 6x8, but what I would say is maybe drop your circle down to 5.5 diameter rather than 6, and then you'll be fine. But I'm just a little bit, but I can make an envelope still for that, but just bear that in mind. You could snip from the bottom, but I think the whole full circle is what makes the card as well. But I think it looks lovely in the envelope when they take it out. Very easy for them to obviously know how to display this. I've popped another bit of card on the bottom as well, which you might find help just kind of anchor it a bit more, give it that weight on the bottom. This is 5 3/4 by 2 1/4. And then, like I said, I might mat and layer the back there as well, but it's lovely. It's a really nice one, and I'm definitely going to revisit this and do the Christmas snow globe because I think that'll look lovely. So if you're just joining from this tutorial and you love this collection, I have shared this gorgeous big kind of block card. I've got a gatefold like pop-out towery kind of thing, and that's all using this new collection. If you do like the product, it will be linked in the description box below this video. As always, give it a thumbs up if you've enjoyed today. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.